comes under the business. Okay, so we're still going.
Has there been a motion to?
There's been a motion.
Second.
Okay.
Is there any discussion? No discussion? Have roll call, Monica, please.
Mr. Archuleta?
Aye.
Dr. Hyde?
I abstain.
Mrs. Quintana? Aye. Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Mr. Thomas?
Aye.
Moving on to number 3, business. 1.0 under 3, grant. Superintendent's recommendation for approval to apply for funding from the Colorado Department, excuse me, from the Colorado Department of Education's Building Excellent Schools Today program grant.
I so move.
Second.
Any discussion? All right, roll call, Monica, please.
Mr. Archuleta?
Aye.
Dr. Hyde?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana? Aye. Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Mr. Thomas?
Aye.
2.0 other. Superintendent's recommendation, approval of out-of-state travel to San Diego, California for School Dude University new platform training. Need an approval?
I so move.
Second.
Any discussion? Have roll call, Monica, please.
Mr. Archuleta?
Aye.
Dr. Hyde?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana? Aye. Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Mr. Thomas?
Aye.
Under 2.2, Superintendent's recommendation, approval for Adams City High School to contract with Inspire. I need a motion to pull this out under CRS 24-6-402E, move into executive session after our board meeting to talk about the contract negotiation.
I so move.
Second.
Any discussion? Need roll call, Monica, please.
Mr. Archuleta?
Aye.
Dr. Hyde?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana? Aye. Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Mr. Thomas?
Aye.
Where was I? Two point three, Superintendent recommendation approval of the 2017-2018 school and district unified improvement plans. Need a motion for approval?
I so move.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. I spent quite a bit of time looking at this report, and I have, I think there's large sections of it that are unintelligible, and I had asked for a workshop, and at the outset I want to say that Ms. Avina was most helpful in trying to contact me to go over some of this, but I really felt that this was an issue that the board needed to grapple with, and I do feel that way. I think that there are that it's a substandard report, and it has confusing statements that I think are void of significant meaning. There are statements that
So, Dr. Hyde,
misdirected.
can I stop you for
Sure,
a minute?
sure.
Because we do have a motion on the floor and a second. We're under discussion.
That's what.
So,
yeah.
so you're either you're actually expressing your point of view at this point in time.
I am.
So, if you want to discuss the unified improvement plans, we can do that, but not about how you're going to vote. You need to do that under when it comes your turn to vote.
Right. I'm trying to explain my perspective on the
I understand that. I understand
So
that.
you don't want me to do that?
No, it's your perspective.
Oh.
You get to cast your vote. You can have your perspective all you want to, but you
So-
get to cast your vote.
Are we having are
Discussion
we having
about the
discussion
unified
now?
improvement plan. Yes.
Okay.
There was a
so,
recommendation and a second.
So and that's the discussion I'm offering.
The discussion you're offering is your displeasure with the way the unified improvement plan was put together. That's your discussion.
That's correct.
Yes, so that you can have your discussion after we have our vote.
I
you-
apologize.
If you don't like the way it turned out, then
my-
you get to have your conversation.
I apologize.
But you're giving your point of view prior to you being asked for your vote.
Well, yes, we have
I
a
understand that.
motion.
I understand that. We have a
second,
motion and a second, and
discussion,
now it's time, yes, discussion
then the
about the
vote.
Unified Improvement Plan, yes.
So I'm discussing it.
Yes, about what you perceive is wrong with them,
That's correct.
correct.
So am I out of order? I don't understand. Am I out of order?
Yes, yes. You're out of order for the simple fact that you are expressing your displeasure with the way the Unified Improvement Plan was written. So you get a vote yes or no for the Unified Improvement Plan, and then take your ideas to whoever wrote the Unified Improvement Plan for corrections.
Well, so-
I'm sorry, I had to intervene right now. That's not correct, Board President. Dr. Hyde is entitled to speak his mind, but he cannot sway his way he wants to vote. Just like, if I'm not mistaken, last year, these plans was brought, the school districts, the schools gave us these plans and gave a presentation last year, each school did, if I'm not mistaken. And then if I'm not mistaken, they had them all out in the hallway too. So he's entitled to speak his mind and let it know how he feel, because there are some things in here I don't agree with, but that's not my vote. That's not trying to sway nobody to vote with me. It's just some things, a question could be to Dr. Abrego. Some of the schools look like they kept the same things from last year. Is that true? But ain't no principals in here to ask them that certain questions. So some things are tweaked a little bit from last year from reading. So I'm just saying, based on my opinion, what I read. But Dr. Hyde is entitled to voice his opinion, but not to say, I'm going to vote no or yes, but he can voice his opinion.
Okay, proceed.
Okay, well, thank you. And I can, if I mean, I would like to say some of these things, but I also don't need to get deep into the weeds if the board is willing to have a more in-depth meeting to go over this report, to try to address some of these shortcomings that I was enumerating. And I just, some of the very first superficial ones that come to mind occur just in the executive summary and even on the first page. It's not clear to me whether this report is from the district or from CDE. It's printed with the CDE letterhead, and if it's a CDE document, then I don't understand why the board has to take any action on it at all. If it's a district report that we're submitting to CDE, it seems to me it ought to be on our letterhead and not CDE's letterhead. Another thing is that this is called a plan. And to me, a plan is the expectation of something to be done in the future. And yet, here it is January, and this is for the 2017-2018 year. So we're halfway through the year. So, if we wanted to think linearly about this, we might say that this is half a plan, since half of the time period has already expired, has already passed. And there is no date on the report as to how current this presumably is. And then it looks to me as though this is some kind of a form that perhaps CDE gave to the district to fill out, and then in the body of the report, it seems to you don't have a copy, but essentially the highlighted areas, I assume, are the district's response to the part that's not highlighted, but there's no explanation as to whether that's true. And under the executive summary, they say, how are students performing? Where will the district focus attention? And it goes into priority performance challenges. And it's not clear to me whether that's offering some kind of a definition or whether that's a directive. But the first clause, or it's not a clause, it's a phrase, has no verb. So, but I'm assuming that it's a directive. And then on the second page, there is no pagination on this report. But under academic achievement and growth, post-secondary and workforce readiness, parent satisfaction, student engagement, it says we have not met state expectations. We have not met state expectations. We lack participation. We lack student engagement, and so forth. And I'll just pick one. It says parent satisfaction, and this is I guess this is the name of. I don't know what it's the name of, but it says name and it says parent satisfaction. Description: we lack participation in parent satisfaction surveys to have an accurate measure of parent satisfaction. Well, later in the report, it shows that on average, the response rate was 28%. But that's hiding the real statistics, which shows that at the high school level, the response rate is 1 or 2%. And at 4 schools, Rose Hill, they had 69%, which I think is really quite good. Monaco was 63%. Dupont and Kempt were over 50%. So I turned to those individual reports, and there's nothing there. Because I guess they took, in some, they concluded that on average, because the response rate was so low, that we are not going to report any of those findings. But when in fact I think there was, viable statistics from at least 4 of the schools, but absolutely no information was provided on the parent surveys, the parent satisfaction
Board President
surveys.
Archuleta, could I shed a little bit of light, maybe? That would help?
Sure.
Okay,
Sure.
Number one is every school has to submit a unified improvement plan. The Colorado Department of Education tells us when to submit them. That means we have to submit them this month. So again, that's what the requirement is. I've been in other states. We do it in the summer so we could follow that plan, but this is the way we do it in Colorado. In their plan, basically it's a living document that is saying, how are we going to improve our school? How are we going to take it from this level to this level? How are we going to be improved in the areas of math, language arts, maybe attendance, whatever they feel is important. So that is in their plan. What they write in their plan is a living document. It could be changed, so throughout the year, if they see something that's not working, they can change it and say, well, we've got to change this part because we already accomplished that. So they're going to move to something else. But every school is led by their principal and their staff, and they come together, they find out what their needs are and what they need to focus on, and that's what should be in these plans. Now, I'm not going to apologize for our principals, but I believe this is the first time that they actually got to lead their staff on doing this, because in the past, before I got here, they weren't done in this manner, which is the way I want them done. I want our principals to lead their staff to find out what their needs are and to put them in the plan and correct them. So probably the best way to do it is we do have most of our principals here, and if you would like, they can come up here and tell you, just the main important parts of their plan. This is our plan. This is what we're going to focus on. They should be able to give you that information in about 2 or 3 minutes, because the plan you have is a template that they have to fill out by the Colorado Department of Education. I have told them that's like probably 30 or 40 pages. Just have like a 1 or 2 page outline so that when you're talking with your parents, you just get to the bottom. You're not going to go over 30 pages, but you could say, we are at Hanson School. We plan to improve in the area of math by doing this, or we're going to improve our reading scores. But our principals are here, and if you would like me, I could bring one up, and I'm sure they could probably elaborate on their plan and tell you what they're doing.
Superintendent, could you tell me, when was this report first made available for the schools to fill out?
These plans are ongoing. Do you want to help me with that?
Hi, I'm Jamie Ball, the coordinator for assessment and accountability, and I'm the one who works on our district UIP plan. And the timeliness, I know you're worried that we're partway through the school year and we're just now submitting these. We don't actually get the template open from CDE until around October because they have to take their data, they have to upload that information into the templates before we can even start accessing those. And so we met with CDE, I believe it was the middle of October, for our first work session with the principals to be able to go back to lead those root cause analysis sessions with their staff in order for them to go ahead and start the deep work in these UIP plans.
Can you address the,
Jimmy, we're getting way off base. We're here to vote on something, not to discuss it.
We are discussing, we're in discussion.
Yeah, but we're not fully, if his proposal was he wanted to hold a workshop so we can discuss this. Am I right or wrong?
well, sure, I mean, I can go, I mean,
We're going to do all this discussion, then that's when we should do it. Not now.
well, I'm open to, you know, what the chairman would like to do. Is we can either have the discussion now or set a separate time for an in-depth look at this report.
Well, actually, it's a board decision as to what we want to do. It's not up to me, so let's put it to a consensus vote. Would you?
No,
Well,
it's not. Don't go like that. He had to amend. He had to do an amendment to the first, because we already did a
we got
first
a
and
first
second.
and second, yes.
So you have to amend it. You got to amend it now to say the Board of Education is going to have a study session to go over these plans from the district. Then we vote on that and set a date. Then we go back to the first one to vote. But
Well, we need
have-
to vote on the first one because we need to deal with the first one.
Right. But then you're going to wait till communications?
No, you need to deal with the first vote.
Right.
Then you can do whatever you need to do
Propose
after
a
that.
study.
Mr. Chairman, I made the motion. May I withdraw my motion?
Withdraw your motion.
Withdraw my motion.
No,
The one that's been seconded?
Yes.
No, it's already been,
Yeah.
So,
we're already in discussion of it.
okay.
So this is what I would suggest. Since we already went through the motions, he discussed how he feels. We can go ahead and vote on it and then come back and later, after, and make a date to
Make another
discuss it.
motion as to whether or not you want to go into a training session.
Yes. Does that sound good?
Sure. I mean, that's, yeah.
And I think that way we could get through this and we can go with what he wants to do and discuss how this is done. Because it is kind of, you know,
And Ms. Quintana, the only thing I want to say is that the unified improvement plans are not set in stone. They could be modified.
Changed.
They can be
It's a
changed.
plan.
So it's a plan that's going to be ongoing, and it's
Right.
going to be updated as needed.
right.
Okay.
So Monica, is there any other discussion? So let's deal with the first motion. Motion to approve the Unified Improvement Plan, that's what it was.
Yes, and we already first and second that.
Correct.
So now we have to have Monica so we could vote on it.
Right, now we have to vote on that motion.
Yes.
Yes. So can I have roll call, Monica, please?
Mr. Archuleta?
Aye.
Dr. Hyde?
No.
Mrs. Quintana?
Aye.
Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Mr. Thomas?
Aye.
Now you can make your second motion.
No, you can't.
To set up a study session.
Study.
So
We do that at the end. That'd be
do
new
that.
business.
we
That'd
don't
be
have
it.
a new business section.
Right. We supposed to have a new, at the end in
We have
communication, because we not done with the agenda first. You didn't amend the agenda. That's why I was saying you do another amendment to his motion, then we could have done that.
Well, we can do it after we did that vote, and we can do the amendment now.
Do it at the end.
What you amending?
We can do it at the end.
What are y'all amending? You're not amending his motion.
He's proposing a motion, not an amendment.
He wants to
So, but
just
you're
set
right,
up
Barbara, a discussion.
a
Yeah,
study
you're doing a
session.
discussion.
But the question is, the question is when in the agenda do we place that? Where in the agenda do we place that?
Communications at the end.
And the communications, okay, fine.
Was I was trying to read along with him. All right.
Two point four, Tim.
2.4 Superintendent's recommendation. Approval for allocation of funds to increase the 2.0 table of authorized personnel for a fifth grade teacher at Monaco Elementary and a fourth grade teacher at Rose Hill Elementary. Need a motion for approval.
Motion
I so
to approve.
moved. Go ahead.
Motion to approve.
I second.
Any discussion? Roll call, Monica, please.
Mr. Archuleta?
Aye.
Dr. Hyde?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana?
Aye.
Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Mr. Thomas?
Aye.
Resolution number 3.0, Board of Education Appreciation Month, Resolution number 18-001, School Board Appreciation Month.
Resolution number 18-001, Board of Education, Adams County School District 14, School Board Appreciation Month. Whereas the education of our children is vital to the future of Colorado, and whereas a solid education establishes the foundation upon which we build achievement and advancement and which gives fulfillment to our dreams and expectations, and whereas the furthering of education is dependent not only upon the effectiveness of teaching staffs, but also upon the unwavering support of parents, administrators, local communities, and local boards of education. And whereas the members of school boards share a commitment to serve by investing many hours of volunteer labor to help ensure that students in Colorado are given an opportunity to excel through education, and whereas school board members are extraordinary people who tackle the enormous job of governing our school districts and whose actions and decisions help impact the present and future lives of young Coloradans, and whereas the dedication of school board members across our state should be recognized and commended, therefore be it resolved as proclaimed by John W. Hickenlooper, Governor of the State of Colorado, to hereby proclaim January 2018 as School Board Appreciation Month, adopted and approved this 9th day of January 2018.
Thank you.
Just a vote.
Do I need roll call, Monica?
Don't we vote?
I need a motion.
We need a motion.
Yeah.
Not on that. That's something different to me.
Oh. And so I need a motion for the approval of the resolution. School Board Appreciation Month, Resolution number 18-001, School Board Appreciation Month.
Motion to approve.
I second.
Discussion? Roll call, Monica, please.
Mr. Archuleta?
Aye.
Dr. Hyde?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana?
Aye.
Mr. Rolla?
Gee, I can hear.
Mr. Rolla?
Aye. I can hear.
Mr. Thomas?
Aye.
He falling asleep.
Communications General.
So now you
I have,
can-
okay, I have a number of comments I'd like to make, and a lot of them are very positive. Since the last time that we met, my wife and I attended the Rose Hill Donuts with Santa. We danced, sang, and laughed a lot. I concluded my It's Cool to Be in School tour. I visited 10 of the 12 principals and schools and learned a lot by doing that. Also, as a board representative to the Adams 14 Education Foundation, I attended their December meeting. Besides routine business items, the importance of raising money to support more good community projects was discussed. Their Commerce City Leadership Program, of which I'm a current participant, is one of the projects it supports. On December 4th, Pam and I went to the Adams City High School Science Fair. Individually, we talked with most of the students, a group of enthusiastic budding scientists hoping to be selected to compete in the next round of science fair competitions around the metro area. Miss Pear deserves high praise for pulling it all together. On the 21st, I helped at the Adams County Food Bank along with many volunteers, including Superintendent Abrego and former Board of Education Director Joe Dreiling. It was a special promotion by Christy Douglas's CCPBA, Commerce City Business and Professional Association. Just before winter break, my wife substituted in her first grade classroom at Rose Hill. I volunteered along with Pam for the entire day. So the children were thrilled in the double teaming of classroom adults. My church has been recently relocated to Manual High School because of a major renovation project. And at Manual High School, we came across a list of volunteer opportunities that I thought was really noteworthy, and I wanted to share it because I think that we could perhaps benefit from thinking about some of these ideas. They have reading partnership programs. They have media experience where they need some help, librarian helpers, helping kids get to college by sitting down with a junior to prep them for the SATs, author and local authors and book talks, graphic designs and so forth. These were all opportunities that the Manual High School has for community people to help out with volunteer opportunities in the school. I would also like to mention that I talked with Spencer Cohen in 27J, and he has done a wonderful job of kind of establishing a partnership between a church and a school. And they have some 30 adults participating as volunteers in all sorts of capacities. And I think that would be worth looking at. Another thing, I want to give kudos to Jesse Martinez here in our Adams 14. He's working hard to promote community development, and I think we want to support him as much as we can because I think community volunteers is an untapped resource that we could really benefit from. And in fact, just this afternoon or this morning, I was attending the BT Reteach and Enrich. And there's another opportunity where I think we could, should try to encourage and foster volunteers to perhaps come in when we do the reteach or the enriching part. You know, where it's kind of an as the assistant vice principal at Rose, Jennifer somebody, I forgot her last name, Lindbergh or something. She said it's kind of an all hands on deck operation when we go into the reteach. And you know, they're asking the PE teacher to maybe, you know, sit in on help with social studies, or the art teacher to help with math or whatever. And so, and they're doing that so that they can have, you know, more adults on fewer students, you know, so have kind of intensive reteach sessions. And so I think that's another great opportunity where we could bring in, try to encourage volunteers from the community. The last thing I want to mention is, on the 21st of December, Pam and I also attended the Christmas party, the holiday party, excuse me, at Allsup Elementary. And there are lots of kids who showed up in PJs to school, and there were a lot of volunteers there. They did a great job. And thanks to Ms. Melvin, who pulled together hundreds of stuffed animals, and each child was able to choose from hundreds of stuffed animals and take one of them home. And so great kudos to Miss Melvin who did that. So thank you. Those are my comments.
Thanks, Dr. Hyde. Anybody else?
I have to read an expulsion into the records.
Okay.
Okay. At this time, I'd like to read an expulsion number. The student's number is 1130596.
Okay.
So, that's it.
Okay, so now I need a motion to move into executive session. Do I end this regular meeting?
Yeah, you could bring,
So
do your executive session first and then adjourn.
And then say we
Motion that if we're going to act on the executive session, then they can stay around or.
okay, so
Tim, no, because we may come back and vote, so you can't
may
adjourn.
come
it.
back and vote.
Yeah.
So we can't adjourn the meeting. So we're just going. So I need a motion to move into executive session. Need a
motion.
motion to move into executive session under Colorado State Revised Statute 24-6-402E, contract negotiations.
Motion to move into exec.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Or, excuse me.
Okay.
Can I have roll call, Monica, please?
Mr. Archuleta?
Aye.
Dr. Hyde?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana?
Aye.
Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Mr. Thomas?
Aye.
Okay, so we'll return after our executive session. I'd like to bring this meeting back to order at 10:30. I need a motion to postpone the approval for Adams City High School to contract with Inspire until January the 23rd. Can I get that motion?
Motion to postpone.
I second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Archuleta?
Aye.
Dr. Hyde?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana?
Aye.
Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Mr. Thomas?
Aye.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
There's no need to motion. We can just adjourn. But motion to adjourn.
Need a motion to adjourn.
Seeing no further business.
Motion to adjourn. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Any discussion? All, can I have roll call, Monica, please?
Mr. Archuleta?
Aye.
Dr. Hyde?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana?
Aye.
Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Mr. Thomas?
Aye.
Thank you for being here.